Hey everyone, welcome to the second shortcut video for the channel. Today what we're going to be doing is Rocky Mountains, every single hole, the best shortcuts for every hole, and we're going to be using a 4-power club. So this is the club we'll be using, Snake. We've got 4 power and 4 guideline, every single hole with every single best shortcut. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Starting off with the only hole in one, which is going to be Motorbike Stunt. So just like in the movies, fire it over the ramp. You want to do about a hard yellow, and if it all goes well, you can get it perfectly in the hole. Now onto the hole in twos. Starting off with hit the jackpot. So this one you have to be on this side for it to work. You want to fire it red just before the triangle. It'll put you perfectly down here, and then to get the hole in two, you want to do about the softest orange possible. And if you hit the jackpot, boom, hole in two. So the other route you can take, if you don't get the right starting spot, you can just yellow it up from either side, and then fire it over the little wooden post, and you can just still tap it in for an easy hole in three. Jump and hope. So this one with a 4-power club, basically just luck if you get the hole in two. Just do the hardest yellow up here, and then line it up, fire it over, and if the ramp gives you a flick occasionally, you can pop it in for a hole in two, but usually you just get a hole in three. Next up is ramps galore. So this hole, there's lots of different routes that you can take depending on your starting spot. From here you can just fire it straight through the sand and over the ramp and hopefully end for a hole in two. If you don't get a good spot for that, there's lots of other different routes that you can take. One of them is going to the right side, where you just do a middle orange over this little ramp, and then about a hard yellow over the ramp, and it should tap you in for a hole in two again. And the other main spot that you can take, if this is the best starting spot, is over to the left side. So you just do a hard yellow over here, and then about a soft orange, and once again you can get a hole in two. So lots of different routes depending on where you're starting. Next up is the Wheel of Fortune. This one you just want to do the hardest orange over to the left side, and from here you should always be able to get through the Wheel of Fortune. You want to do about a hard orange, and if that gives you a bit of fortune, you can pop it in for a hole in two. Next up is the newest hole in the game, Skip the Loop. You can just fire it straight over and it should set you up just before the ramp. But you don't want to go over the loop, you want to skip it, bounce back off the wall, and occasionally it'll pop you in for a hole in two. Clippity Clip is a pretty straightforward hole. You just want to fire it to the side that's closest to you, and then the second shot, if you do a soft red and you just clip the corner, you can pop it in for a hole in two. The 1152. This one you want to do a hard red straight over this piece of wood, and you can skip the loop-de-loop entirely, and then if you line this shot up well with a hard orange, it'll pop you in for a hole in two, which is usually a big advantage over most other players. Now over to the bowling alley. You can either choose, I would recommend either left or right side. From this spot, the right side's better, and then you can just fire it straight over, and with a little bit of luck, pop it perfectly in for a hole in two. The bank or ramp, always go to the bank side. Occasionally you can just get it straight in for a hole in two with a perfect path, just like this. Otherwise you can just bank it off the left wall, and most times you can get a hole in two. So for the elephant, what you want to do is, if you're on the left side, you can orange it off the right wall and skip the elephant and its trunk entirely, and you just have a straight path for a hole in two. So if you get the right spot, you can be a pretty easy hole in two. Next up is Sugar Lump. Don't ask me about the name, but pretty fairly straightforward hole. Fire it red over the tip, and then the second shot's quite difficult, but if you get the right angle, you can pop it in for a hole in two. Moving on to the hole in threes. Starting off with the line of Symmetry. This one you just want to avoid the first two boards, make sure you don't hit them. And next you can just tap it over to the right, which will set you up for the last shot. And if you clip the corner, you can once again pop it in for a hole in 3. Off-road starts off pretty simple. You just follow it through, make sure you don't hit the board. Around the half pipe and to the right side of the half pipe. For the last shot, you want to go a bit off-road over the ramp, and it should put you in straight for a hole in 3. Puzzle piece is a nice easy hole. You just follow it through off the tip puzzle piece over here. The 5 power you can get a hole in 2, otherwise with a 4 power, bank it off 2 puzzle pieces and tap it in for an easy hole in 3. Next up is the Bullseye. Depending on your starting spot, just make sure you get into the middle area. From here it's just a soft orange. Then what you want to do here is just tap it up just before this ramp, and from here you can do a hard to soft red and pop it in straight in the Bullseye. Island hopping is a fun hole for the 4 power club. You can just shoot it straight over to this island, then straight over to the ramp, and with a soft yellow, just pop you in for an easy hole in 3, and the bots are usually pretty bad at this, so it's a good way to catch up. Sandfly is a nice easy hole. You just want to bank it off the back into the sand. From here you can just fly out onto the piece of wood and around the half pipe, further right than you think, and most times it should bring you in for a hole in 3. Pluto is also a fun hole with a 4 power club. You just want to tap it up the ramp here, and you can fly out of space and land on the little Pluto over here. And if you get a good spot, you can just go straight back home to Earth into the hole. The water hole. With a power 5 you can get a hole in 2, but with a power 4 you just follow it through down the ramp. Then from here you can either go to the left or else you can go straight into the sand, and then just tap it straight into the watering hole for a hole in 3. Welcome to Rocky Road. It's going to be a great shortcut if you make it, but it's quite difficult. You want to do a soft orange around the ramp, then you just want to tap it up here, and if you get a perfect shot around about a hard orange to a soft red, you can sometimes get it perfectly in for a hole in 3, but it is quite difficult, so if you're ahead I don't recommend it, just take the easy route. Sand hop's a quick easy 3 with a 4 power club. Just fire it straight over to the red island, then onto a soft orange onto the little island, then you can just bounce it straight in for a hole in 3. Nice and fun. And now for the last 2 holes, which are done in 4 strokes. Starting off with patience. This one you just want to fire it red, but you want to bank it off the left wall. If you bank it off the left wall, you'll always miss the sand, so you'll never get stuck. And just be patient with the pendulum. You can either go straight or left, doesn't really matter. And the last shot's the hardest, but if you get it right with a softer middle orange, you can pop it in for a hole in 4. And last but not least is the Themepark. So this hole, nice and long, what you want to do is a soft orange at the very tip of that angled wood. Will set you up in the middle. From here you can just do just a little bit more than a soft orange, and it should set you up on this ramp. And once you get there, it's pretty straightforward. You fire it over to the last platform, and then just do a hard yellow into the hole. Bots aren't great at this, so it's a great way to catch up for the hole in 4. There we go guys, that was the best shortcut for every hole in Rocky Mountains with a 4 power club. Hopefully you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, peace.